All right, everybody, live from the launch site here. They are doing some grinding on some piece of metal here. Just started up grinding. You'll hear some grinding in a minute, but nothing I can do about that. There is a lift going up to the quick disconnect. And I'm just getting started here. Wow, okay. So there is a Ocean Cam live stream going from the remote camera site, and that I expect that will kick off at around the 50-minute mark or the 1 hour mark. So I have a setup over there, remote camera, and I'm looking for ways to keep the camera from kicking off. So I expect that will go off in about, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. If anyone has a solution for that, let us know, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna continue live streaming from here. Things are good here, and just starting the day out. Earlier today, the date is February 1st, 2022, around 2:06 in the afternoon. SpaceX South Texas launch site, Starbase, and they are grinding in front of this right here across the road. They're going to do some grinding, so it's going to get loud, and I'm going to pan around the site here. It is a not foggy but misty, I don't know, foggy, misty, overcast day. Hey Paul, nice, good to see you. And it is overcast for sure. So earlier this morning, you couldn't see a mile away. So there was a cryo test for Starship 20 planned for this morning, and they canceled it after 2 hours. Around lunchtime, 12 o'clock, they canceled that road closure, and I did not see any. They never actually. They did the border patrol area. They closed that off, but they did not close the road down from the build site to the launch site. That never got the sheriffs over there. So they did have a checkpoint going over in Brownsville, stopping people from coming down at 9 a.m. So they started that an hour early, even though the road closure was at 10. They started that checkpoint in Brownsville at 9. And then they canceled it at 12 noon. So yeah, the sun is looking like it might be coming out. Okay, you can see the sun above the tower here. I'll zoom up, tilt up in a moment. We'll get the side of the sun. You can see it up there, just coming through the clouds. Not sure when that'll break through, but it is burning up a lot of the layers of clouds up there. They're doing a lot of road work here. What I've heard and what I've seen is that potholes, there are a lot of potholes, and due to the sandy nature of the soil around here, so they're constantly having to redo areas of the road here, and they do have the one-way going there on the road. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, Paul, that is as zoomed out as I can get. We are right up next to it, so that's about 400 foot tall. I can tilt down. There is a wildlife or state parks wildlife thing behind me, so I could go another 20 feet or so back north and get a little bit of a larger view. Okay. I do have another camera going simultaneously as this, so there's another live stream with a zoomed out view of everything. So that is, it's right here on the Ocean Cam channel. There's 2 streams currently going live. And I'll tilt down so you can... this is a live stream, everybody. I mean, maybe later it'll be recorded, but it is definitely going to get recorded. But right now it is, the date is February 1st, 2022 at 2:11 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. Yep. So they've got some argon tanks there on the right. The green ones are the argon. I'll use my hand. This is argon. I don't know what these tanks are, but that's argon over there on the right. Yeah, I'll do some zooms since I'm here. And I'll get a shot of the... I don't know if I got the booster yet, but I'll get the booster. Booster's there. I haven't seen any lifts going up on the booster yet. What is unusual is we do see the, I forgot the name of it, but that big white SpaceX crane is kind of, looks like it might be moving toward the booster. I don't know. I don't see any movement today, but it is kind of facing the booster. And maybe they're going to be lifting the booster or doing something. I'll get another shot there at the main gate later today. Thanks, Moon. You're awesome too. Get the shot over here. I have heard that there's going to be 2 more of these white tanks coming in. So I'm on the lookout for any news about the whereabouts of those. I think they may have already arrived too over there at the build site. I haven't seen them personally, but if anyone knows if they're here already, let us know. I get some shots of the Starship zoom in a moment. And I will get this tank farm here to the left. I got some 4K imagery yesterday. I uploaded it last night. I don't know if some of you may or may not have seen that, but they're already present. Awesome, Ayush. Awesome, thanks. I got some 4K imagery here at the launch site yesterday, and I zoomed in on these lights and the different segments below the lights. So if you'd like to see that close up, check out that upload. It's a couple minutes long. I uploaded it yesterday. But I got some close-ups of these different segments here. And I'll get a view of down by the ocean. This is Ocean Cam. We got a lot of empty parking spaces here today, to my right and to my left. I'll do some shots here. You see there's some spaces here. All right, so I apologize. I'm gonna move a little slowly here, but there are many empty parking spaces here today, which is indicative of either they were planning to do the test, so they had a bunch of people leave the site or park somewhere else. But now they're back in motion here, and there's still many empty spaces here. So Brandon says on Labs Raptor Roost Cam, looks like they're near the big heat exhaust things with the tarps. Okay. Heat exhaust things with the tarps. Oh, okay, yeah. over there at the build site, there are some blue tarps. So, and then there are the 5 stacks over there by the natural gas power plants over there, over at the build site. So that's probably what Brandon's talking about with the Lad Padre wrist cam. I didn't know they had a, I never heard that name before, but cool. Sounds good. I'll zoom in to the, I'll do some zooms here now. Thanks for the info. See, there's a lift lower down on the Starship. I don't see any lifts on the catch arms, but higher up on the quick disconnect there is a lift. Yeah, maybe, Paul. Chinese New Year. I don't know if they celebrate Chinese New Year here. I don't know what the population of Asians are here at SpaceX. But it's a good thought. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Could be. That could be the reason. So there's a lift there at the quick disconnect as well. Yeah, the sun's coming out. Cool. Tom Tech, thank you. Get up, get up, get up. Cool. Thank you, Tom. I'll zoom out a little bit. We'll get some zoomed out. So we see the scaffolding there at the right side of the tower and also on the side of the quick disconnect. So that is still some work going there on the tower, and that would have to be finished up before they, I believe, lift the quick disconnect all the way to the top again. So they're still doing some type of work up there. Lock this in for a moment or two. So we're looking at the tower. Sun's coming out. I get a little better picture of the sun too. Should be there on the right. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. It's burning through this haze layer, fog layer. I don't think it's haze, but I think it is moisture, just moisture. So I was working on the, wow, another moon duster. Thank you. Wow, nice. Thank you, guys. I was working on the camera last night, and I made it a new setup without all the spray foam insulation on the inside. So I used some of the foam pads that I had. Somebody here had mentioned in the chat yesterday that maybe I should get rid of the foam because it could, the spray foam could get inside the camera, and they gave me an idea about using some of the foam that I had, and I already had some foam. I think it was pluck foam or something like that. Paul, yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, everybody. When this thing launches, it's gonna be awesome. So I made a new setup of the remote camera inside that camera casing. So it was much faster and easier to set up today. I still have the issue of the camera shutting off at around an hour, it might shut off. We'll see. Well, I know when I'm live streaming and I have the Nikon in front of me, it goes hours and hours. So I don't know if it's a power issue, if it momentarily cuts out, or if it's a heat issue, or if it's just something with the live stream and not moving the camera. Maybe it just kind of zonks out for some reason. But I'll work with this Nikon as a live stream over there at the remote camera site, but I can always put another camera in there as well. I've got this iPhone I could put up there, and I have another camera as well, a mini camera that was given to me by somebody. So I've got two other options that I'm going to give this the Nikon a shot, but I can always switch it out and put another camera in there. Yeah, Moonduster, yes, the remote camera will be ready for launch. It's going now. The only issue I've got maybe one or two issues, is the Nikon cuts out, I think, around the hour mark for whatever reason. I've looked it up, and a lot of people, other people have that issue with the Nikon P1000 cutting out. Yeah, thanks, Mike. But I can easily put the iPhone over there for the launch. That's not an issue. So I'm just giving it a shot here with maybe tonight I'll leave the iPhone up there, and maybe I'll leave a good camera in there tonight. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If I can position, I haven't made a setup to position the iPhone over there in that video container. But if not tonight, then soon. If see how the other camera works first. But yeah, good stuff. I'll get a shot of the orbital launch platform as well. But for sure, yes, I can have it ready today if I just made a little container for the iPhone, a little holder inside of that camera casing that I already built for the Nikon. Because I've got the iPhone. The only issue, I guess, with the iPhone is the reception. That is maybe something I might have to get zeroed in even more before the launch. I have had the iPhone over there, and when it was at the ground level, it worked for like an hour or a couple hours, but I think it did lose reception. So I do have a antenna over there for the AT&T with the global modem that I use with the Nikon P1000, and so maybe I can link up that amplifier, that booster, with this cell phone, because I believe the range is the same in the, I think it's a 1900 megahertz here with the iPhone Pro 12 Max, and that is within the range of the antenna booster, which is currently working on the Nikon P1000, which that Nikon is working off an AT&T global modem. So it might be easy to get those things to work together. We'll see. I've got to look into that tech a little bit more. But I was looking at remote access using, say, the Nikon over there right now. I have set up a couple of different remote access types of things where I can maneuver and modify the laptop that is currently over there at the remote site. If I could, maybe if I do some kind of updates within the 45 minutes or so into that live stream over there, maybe I could kind of keep the stream going by moving the camera or something like that. So if I could figure out how to do something like that, or add some audio to that stream by using the remote access, maybe I can activate a microphone on this cell phone into that laptop live stream and have it broadcast over that YouTube stream from the remote site. So if I could, I know how to, I've already used the remote access from the phone to move to access the desktop on the laptop, but the next step would be to access the audio, and also to maybe using some servos or something, maneuver the camera around as well. And if I could do those things, get audio over there into that stream, and also maneuver the camera around so it doesn't shut off due to whatever, then yeah, those are just some of the challenges I've got for myself right now with the low-tech version that I'm using. I'm using a kind of a low-tech so far. We've got a great signal over here at the launch site, so it's pretty, most days when the parking lot here isn't packed full of cars, the signal is very good. When there is a lot of competition, I think the cell phone company drops off users based on priority or based on importance. For example, if you are with the EMS, or if you're an EMT, or you have an ambulance, AT&T gives priority of signal to those people to their phones. So they will constantly adjust the signal strength for the variety of phones in an area. So pretty interesting stuff. There's a high-pitched sound here. I'm not sure what it is. Many days there is a high-pitched sound. Today there is one. There is one of those red trucks here, red and white trucks over there at the Orbital Tank Farm. I'm going there now. And I've been told that that is a vacuum truck. If anyone knows for sure if that is a vacuum truck or maybe a water truck, but I've been hearing that it is a vacuum truck, this red truck over there. Then maybe they're kind of cleaning out or vacuuming out some of these things, or maybe they're using the vacuum for some other reason. But it's kind of unusual, but I'm hearing that red truck over there is for creating, it's a vacuum truck or something. Red and white truck. Okay, I go back to the orbital launch platform. Got a bunch of vehicles coming in. Okay, Mule Skinner, that sounds awesome. A switcher, huh? And have both cameras going on the same live feed, huh? That's interesting. I know you can do that when you have both cameras in the same location. I know also I had something called StreamYard, and I could log in. You can log in from different locations. One of the issues with that was the signal strength drop went in and out. So that's something I could do. I could log in under two different identities into the StreamYard and have the two shots on the same screen. And then even if one of them dropped out, the stream would continue with whichever one is remaining. So that is something I can, yeah, if there is a switcher though, let me know. I know OBS has something like that as well, but I don't know, maybe just a hardware solution would be interesting. If I could somehow dial in or use a stream key, and I'm not sure how it works, but I know each live stream you do, there is a URL and a stream key, and the same stream key is used for a variety of streams. It, you know, I guess the title makes it a little bit different, and yeah, I'm not sure. It's still in the learning phase for me for that. But I was using something called StreamYard last year while I did multiple chats with at least a couple people simultaneously, and they were able to log in from different locations here in the United States, and just like you would do on Skype, and we would be on the same screen. And yeah, so I think it costs like $25 a month or something like that, or so. I wasn't really using that much, so I canceled it. And but it was spotty when it came to reception. It really used a lot of juice to keep going, and it would there were some audio issues with it as well. So I don't know if there's anything better than that, but StreamYard is something that I was using. Hey Key, RV chillin', Lynn. Hey Paul. On the QD arm, please, says Key. Yeah, I can zoom in up there. I am using the iPhone Pro 12 Max today, so it is not going to be so much of a zoom in focus kind of zoom. Is there something on the... It looks to be good. I don't see anything in the lens. IR, huh? What does that mean? I'm not sure. Hey, Jackie, Daniel. Cat on the screen. Huh. It's... Oh, yeah, it's... I got you, Key. Yep. Domino principle. Okay. Yeah, Key. Hey, RV chillin'. What's going on? Oh, this is maybe Beth. I believe that's Beth is RV chillin'. And Starbase today is Lynn. So, hey Beth. Sorry about that. Yep, that's what's going on. They added a bunch of concrete to the floor just to the right of the methane tanks here that they installed a little while back. So this is now kind of a parking lot area, and you can see some vehicles parked behind this black gate. They haven't done anything recently, like today or yesterday, but in the past couple of weeks, they rerouted a lot of the white piping here that you see up here. They rerouted all around this thing and coming back. So, and there has been a bunch of that white pipe work back there going on. But all of this parking lot here has been concreted over. It was all dirt before, but now it's mostly concrete. There is a little bit of remaining dirt over there from the berm and a little dirt area over there. They haven't concreted everything, but they've done most of it. So. See, there's some scaffolding here on this methane tank area, and so it looks like they are doing a bunch of work to it. There has been some venting today, but other than that, and they almost did a cryo test on the Starship today, but that was canceled midstream. Nothing happened. I didn't see anything. So, but they did begin the process of doing a cryo test and the road closure and everything like that. So. I'm planning to go down to the build site and get some video of the high bay, wide bay construction over there. This morning when I was driving by, they had a new segment or section connected to one of the cranes over there, and they were going to lift it, looked like today. I'm not sure, Matt, when they'll transport the tanks, but there is another road closure tomorrow. Thanks for asking. So Monday, Tuesday, yesterday, and today, Tuesday, the road closures have been canceled. The next road closure is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. again. So we've been getting the sun coming out around lunch or after lunch. So I don't know if they're going to extend the road closure tomorrow and go forward with it, but maybe those road closures are times when they would move tanks down the road and all. When I was down there passing by the build site this morning, I didn't see any white cones or any preparation to be moving anything down this way. So they haven't done any preparation to move any of those white tanks down this way. Not that I've seen, at least. But because when they do the road closures, they usually put the white cones on the road. And in the morning, if you get here early, you can see whatever they're going to be moving right up next to the gate there, ready to go. So I didn't see anything next to the gate this morning ready to go. So I think, at least for today, the only thing they were planning to do was the Starship 20 cryo test, is what I heard from somebody. I believe it was announced this morning on the broadcast here on the speakers. If any of you are on LinkedIn, I have a LinkedIn page here for Ocean Camera Space Corp. So you could follow the company LinkedIn page. I believe it's a group or a page for Ocean Camera Space Corp. And there's a number of people following it already, but the more the merrier. And it helps to like social credit, kind of thing, like emotional intelligence, but with for a business. So, and I am also on LinkedIn, Paul S. Mamakos. If you ever wanted to reach out for any reason or whatnot. I met a gentleman this morning who was an engineer, and we were chatting about stuff, and he's knowledgeable about cameras and things like that. So, the more people I chat with or meet or hear what we're doing here at Ocean Cam. The goal of Ocean Camera Space Corp, Ocean Camera, like there's oceans up there on moons here in the solar system. There's moons out there, like over 200 moons in our solar system that have known to have water on them, and many of them have oceans beneath the ice. So the goal of Ocean Camera Space Corp, Ocean Camera Space, is that there's oceans out there on the different moons. And the goal here at Ocean Cam is to take the video imagery, or to help other people take the video imagery of the oceans on the different moons here in the solar system. So Ocean Camera, to get cameras up there to oceans on the other moons up there in space, and do the video photography and show that imagery to the world. And in addition to the photography aspect, what would finance the mission is the harvesting of the water. So as we know, there's oceans on moons like Enceladus and Ganymede and possibly Titan. I believe there's water on Titan as well. And there's larger. Here on the Earth, we have a certain percentage of water on the Earth versus the crust and all that kind of stuff. But on these different moons and planets, the percentage of water on these moons is higher than the percentage of water on Earth. So some of these moons have more water than there is on the Earth. So there's more water, say there's 10 times more water on some of these moons than all the water on the Earth. So it should be relatively simple a simple mission to get over there and do at least some video imagery from the surface of these moons. And on top of that, once we know where the confirmed access point to this liquid is to harvest some of the water, because up there in space now, not including the cost of launch from SpaceX, but the cost of a gallon of water in space is anywhere from, or a pound of water, there's 8 pounds in a gallon here on Earth. So 1/8 of a gallon of water in space costs about $1,000 all the way up to $10,000. So we'll say $5,000 per eighth of a gallon of water, or you could say $5,000 per pound of water here in the United States. We use the word pound as a weight. And so if we found an ocean up there on a moon, and we were able to, since moons don't necessarily have a lot of gravity, we can easily land on the surface of the moon. I've heard that it's beneficial when moons have an atmosphere because it helps you aerobrake and slow down. But anyway, if we're able to land a starship on, say, Enceladus or another moon out there, Callisto or Ganymede or maybe Titan, if we could do that mission and harvest some of that water, well, there you go. You just and then since the moons have, apparently many moons have less gravity than the Earth, then it might be easier just to launch off of one of those moons once you've siphoned out some of the water or pumped it into your ship, and continue on with your space mission or set up your colony or whatever. So the value, you wouldn't have to transport the water to the planets beyond Mars or to the moons, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Once you get past that asteroid belt, it'd be good if you didn't have to transport the water from the Earth to get out there and use, and live. So the atmosphere on most of these moons, apparently, this is according to current science here in the public sector, there is no atmosphere on many of these moons, and there's the gravity apparently, I say apparently because the gravity on the moon is thought to be maybe six-tenths of the gravity on the Earth. I know you can read in some of the NASA articles and stuff like that it's much lighter than that, but it really depends on who you listen to. But I've heard that the gravity on the moon is about 6/10 of the gravity on the Earth. And the reason I give some credibility to that statement is because many different organizations send satellites to the moon, and they usually crash into the moon because something was wrong with their gravity calculations. And there's somebody that I respect that says the gravity on the moon is 6/10 of the gravity on the Earth, and I would continue on with that individual because everybody else seems to always crash into the moon. So if they really understood the gravity on the moon, then they wouldn't be crashing into it. They'd be doing a soft landing. So according to current science in the public sector, apparently many of these moons don't have an atmosphere and the gravity is very low. So if we can land a starship on one of these moons or something like that, or another ship over there, then we can more easily harvest the liquid from beneath the ice. And they're already doing these ice pumping missions down in the South Pole. So none of this technology is new. Lockheed Martin developed that technology in partnership with some other businesses. So some of these corporations have already developed the technology to pump out the water from beneath the ice. And if we were to go to Enceladus, I've said this before, the thickness of the ice on Enceladus is less than a mile thick due to the tiger stripes in the southern region of the moon of Enceladus. So many of the ice apparently on many of these moons is 20 or 25 miles thick. So if we're going to narrow down which moon should we go to harvest the water, I would suspect that we should go somewhere where there's already cracks in the ice and the water is already seeping out into space. And one of those locations is Enceladus. Enceladus is a moon around Saturn, one of the many moons around Saturn. So there are a couple other moons, like we know here with SpaceX, they have the two oil rigs, Phobos and Deimos, and I believe those are moons around Mars, 2 moons around Mars. And I don't know what the situation there is with those moons, whether they have water on it, but when I chatted with Dr. Caitlin Nairns last summer, she said most of the moons in the solar system have confirmed water. So I would suspect that Phobos and Deimos have water, and if we are going to Mars and we want to harvest water and have water in space around Mars, or even take water to the surface of Mars, if we can't find it on the surface, maybe one of those moons might have some inordinate amount of water that we could harvest from maybe beneath. If there is ice on Phobos and Deimos, then maybe we can harvest some of that water and take it with us down to the surface of Mars. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it is beneficial to have access to that liquid, which our bodies are made up of at least 70% water. Never mind the other elements and minerals that we need and all that kind of stuff. So we can also make hydrogen and oxygen, and we can make some we can make stuff that we'll need to launch off of these different moons and planets. So in addition to for the drinking of the water and the growing of crops and everything, we're going to need the water to create the concrete and also the fuel for the different rockets. And even with the Arca rocket, there's a rocket out of in Europe called Arca Space, I believe is the name, and they use a water only, highly pressurized, high temperature water instead of fuel in the lower stages of their rocket. So they even launch their rocket out of the ocean. They don't need a platform, they don't need an oil platform. So if we could work with Arca Space, I'm sure they would love to have access to that liquid water on any of these moons out there, or maybe even on Jupiter. I don't know what the gravity on Jupiter is, but there's been some recent imagery from above from in orbit around Jupiter that shows similar pictures to what we see above the Earth when we're looking at the phytoplankton in the oceans here on Earth. Those same phytoplankton swirls. There was a lady named Leah on LinkedIn and also linked up with NASA, involved in that mission of analyzing the imagery off of in orbit over Jupiter, and she was noticing and making notes of the similarity between the imagery of the phytoplankton above the Earth from orbit and the new images that we've gotten from above the planet of Jupiter. So there is a striking resemblance to the two images, leading and kind of indicating that there may be a high possibility that there are phytoplankton in the oceans. If there are oceans on Jupiter, I don't know if there are oceans on. Everything I've ever heard about Jupiter is that it is a gas, non-existent, it's a gas giant which didn't turn into a star yet, but maybe that science is not correct, and maybe it does have liquid oceans on Jupiter. I don't know. I haven't really done I haven't even done any general looking into the situation there on Jupiter, but yeah, it may be pretty awesome over there, and we might have maybe the gravity is not so bad, maybe the atmosphere isn't so bad, and maybe there's some humans over there on the surface of Jupiter, and maybe it's kind of like an elite vacation land away from the Earth that some of the secret space and other people like to utilize for their vacations. So anyway, we will find out soon enough if we live long enough and we continue these missions out there into space. All right, checking out the chat. Sorry, I had my eyes closed for a long time and just chatting away. Let's see what's going on here. All right, Green Sky. Hey, Green Sky. William says there's liquid methane on Titan. Yeah, there's also liquid water confirmed on Titan as well. There is methane and water on Titan. That's correct. What about comets? Yeah, comets too. Yeah, and there was a company, Mr. Debris, called Planetary Resources, and we're currently in the midst of maybe a financial reset, or at least there was a financial reset by the World Economic Forum, and also the Carl Schwab. I forgot his name, Charles Schwab, over there with the IMF and the World Bank and all those type of people and organizations and think tanks. They were doing a reset here on the Earth, and so the Planetary Resources was bought out by a blockchain company, Consensus, and they had a mission to the asteroids out here in space around the Earth. So that was one of their central themes was to harvest the water on the different asteroids out there, in addition to mining the asteroids. But their initial purpose, in addition, was to locate the water on these different asteroids, and then so to send like I don't know, a bunch of probes all around to the asteroid, and kind of analyze all the different locations, or a select number of locations on an asteroid, and identify if there's water there or not. And if they could find the water, then they would mine that location. So they're prioritizing the water mission. It was called Planetary Resources. It was a company bought out by Consensus, an Ethereum, I believe, an Ethereum blockchain company, which is an awesome change of events. And we're in the midst of maybe a financial switch over to electronic cashless. Then maybe that's why we had this whole COVID thing, but I don't know. There's a lot of illness here on the Earth, but if we can move to a cashless system, that will speed up transactions. It will speed up finance. It'll streamline a lot of stuff, and that's what many of these blockchain companies are doing. But the fact that large of an organization, Consensus, is a large organization. They bought out Planetary Resources. I wonder what kind of what they're doing over there with the Planetary Resources. I haven't done the homework to follow up and keep looking at some of the videos they put out. Okay, so the green sky. You think, did the other camera cut out? Yeah, we're at about the hour mark. So I don't think it's overheating, because it is cold outside here. I think it's just due to what I've read about the Nikon P1000 camera, is that's what happens at a certain point of non-use, of no recording. The camera just shuts off. And the last time I went over there to yesterday, after it shut off and after I'd finished live streaming here at the launch site, when I got there, the computer was on. It was still logged. My computer was still logged into YouTube, but the camera itself had shut off. So I think it's just one of those default turn off things when, see, the camera doesn't know you're live streaming. It's just sending the signal out through the wire to the laptop. So if I can let the camera know somehow that we are live streaming and we don't want you to turn off, then that would solve that issue. I don't believe it's the overheating thing, at least not at this time. In the summertime, I could understand that, but not now on a cold day. Yeah. So there's other cameras that are made to do that, just surveillance kind of cameras, and maybe something like that would be my solution. I do have a mini GoPro which might be useful, but I don't know how good it can zoom. Hey Jackie, what's back to normal now? Hey Mike mentions Ripple. Yeah, interesting company. Ripple is a very fast cryptocurrency, or digital currency. Should I use the word digital currency? Let's see. I'm going back in the chat, checking out. So, Mr. Debris, what about comments for harvesting water? So, Yeah, so Planetary Resources, Ocean Camera Space Corp is a lot like Planetary Resources. We could, I'm kind of focusing on oceans, but if there's an ocean on a comet, then so be it, or at least a big pool of water on a comet. I'm not looking so much of extracting the water from a bunch of soil and harvesting the minuscule amounts of water from a comet. Well, maybe that would be profitable, and maybe that's a first step. I don't know. There's a company that I met over there at the SpaceX Expo in 2021 in Long Beach, California, just near Santa Monica, that has they've launched their cameras. Their cameras have been used on space missions to comets already. So they've already had their cameras land on comets. So that has already been achieved, and I have that contact information. I met with the individual there at the expo from that company. So there were over 250 space companies at that expo, SpaceX Expo 2021 in Long Beach. And yeah, so I've chatted with an individual, a person from that company, and they have the cameras. I think they use some type of special ruby or something like that to. There's a bunch of special ingredients that they use to space ready the cameras, and I've been told that the cameras themselves are at least $100,000. Never mind getting them into space and for the mission to succeed. So if anyone knows any information on how to prepare a camera to go up there into space, what are the factors? I believe overheating is one of them. There's a bunch of different factors, maybe the vacuum or pressurization, radiation exposure, and a long enough battery life and ability to. There's a bunch of different factors. If anyone knows how to space ready a camera or has done some of that work before, contact us or let us know a little bit about that. Yeah, I took out the Green Sky 01. I took out the foam insulation yesterday. I did put in some larger blocks of foam, but there's quite a bit of airspace there. I hope, maybe that is the answer, but I don't know if that's what we're looking at here. John C. Ford, 2069 says, there better be ice on Mars or Elon's plan for getting back is screwed. I don't know if he's planning to come back or not. But SCS Rust Tech, yeah, that's a good idea. I could put some white. The box is currently a white color. It does reflect the sunlight, but I will do more to reflect the light off of the box and do more temperature-wise. But we are getting a solid hour. Whenever I put that camera up, we get a solid hour of live stream. It has enough power to live stream continuously forever. It's hooked up to solar panels, so it doesn't need any more power than it currently has. It just needs the ability to stay on. The camera shuts off. It could be an overheating issue. I don't know. I'm going to keep at it. But if anyone has any ideas, you all give me a lot of ideas. I got a lot of good feedback yesterday about how to take that to the next level. So I did a bunch of modifications to that box tonight, and when I get new ideas or new things that I can do, then I will implement those ASAP. John says there better be ice on Mars or Elon's plans for getting back is no bueno. What I could say about that is I don't know if it's true or not, but CNN put out an article several months ago about the discovery of a large canyon on Mars. In addition to that, around 70 degree temperatures over there and large amounts of water over there simultaneously. So there is apparently a large canyon over there on Mars where they've identified a large amount of water, much more than they ever thought was there, and with good temperatures. So yeah, it might be pretty nice over there on Mars. Mr. Debris says 2.5 times gravity, 2.5 G gravity on Jupiter. Okay, yeah, and that's interesting too, because we do we spin people up here in those centrifuges, you know, before the astronauts go into space, and even when they're flying airplanes, they pull a lot of G's, and I believe you can at least for a few, you know, a short while, in 2.5 times gravity. Maybe if you wanted to get really strong, you would go on a trip to Jupiter. And I don't know if anyone has done that physiology research, if someone can survive in that type of heavy gravity, but it'd be interesting to know, to find out if people can survive in 2.5 times gravity, you know, because we can definitely survive that amount in a centrifuge. Hey Jackie, what do you mean by back to normal now? The sun glow? I'm not. Oh yeah, the sky has gotten blue, everybody. So earlier you could, I think everybody remembers, earlier was very overcast and white skies, and now we have blue skies out here. I get some shots up there. Yep, blue skies up here, and the white cloudy layer is gone. Mule Skinner Film says, not overheating. You're right. I think you can stop it from shutting off in the menu settings, or just find a way to record for long periods. Yeah, Mule Skinner, I have a 128 gigabyte micro SD card in there, and that can last, I believe, 15 hours at the 4K, and it can last 4 days. That 128 gigabyte micro SD card can last 4 days at 1080 30p. So I have the ability to, when I put it in record, I did try that today. I put it in record and then I tried to live stream. The live stream wouldn't activate. I can do more research about that, whether I can live stream and record at the same time. There may be something where it's not allowing that to happen, but if I could put it in that live stream mode and have that imagery go to the computer through the HDMI cord, the micro HDMI to the HDMI, then that would be the solution. I tried that this morning. It just wouldn't transfer over. I can try it a few more times, but it may not. Yeah, if anyone knows for the iPhone Pro 12 Max, no, for the Nikon P1000, if there's some type of setting I can do to keep it from shutting off due to non-use, let me know. Send me a comment or send me an email or reach out to me somehow, because that will solve that issue, and we will be live streaming 24/7. That seems to be the only issue I'm currently having, in addition to the occasional losing of the signal over there. Right now, there's no reason why we couldn't be live streaming with that other camera, 24/7. If we can get that, besides the besides the losing of the reception, that seems to be the only issue I'm currently dealing with that Nikon for the live stream. I have it in a really good position. It's set up really nicely in that box. Mr. Debris says, of course there's no surface on Jupiter to land or to stand, but Mr. Debris, with that recent video photography from orbit over the surface of Jupiter, it looks to be that there is phytoplankton in an ocean over there, because the imagery looks the same as the imagery over the Earth, unless it's a fake image that they mistakenly put on that satellite that went over there above the apparently the planet of Jupiter. Then it does appear that there is maybe an ocean on Jupiter with phytoplankton in it. So maybe we can at least have a boat, right? We can go to Jupiter in a boat. We don't need to be on land. We can cruise around in a boat. Yeah, I'm not using any colored filters. Hey, Jill. But yeah, also on Venus, there were some words apparently that if you could be in a float over you could float up in the clouds over Venus, and you could live over there, because I believe the conditions were suitable for life over there, up in like one of those sky ships, or just like we have over the different sports arenas. You have those big floats up there in the sky, looking down at the field, the football field or the soccer field or whatnot. Those same type of airships you could live in one of those on Venus. There's an atmosphere there. Patricia asks, when are they going to launch this? All right, so Patricia, the deal on that is there is a hold on everything until at least March 1st of this year, because the environmental review from the FAA is supposed to get finished by February, the end of this month of February 28th. So if they delay that again, then it'll get pushed back several more months. So they've been pushing it back for a while, since 2014, and they weren't able to finish it this December, and they pushed it back to February 28th, and we'll see when we get to the end of this month if they push it back again or whatnot. But so the soonest for a launch would be March 1st, 2022. Jackie says arm release. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. There is a manual for the Nikon P1000 online, and y'all are welcome to scroll through that manual and try and help me find the answer to that camera issue, if there is a way to do that. I just haven't been able to focus enough to look through that manual, but I should look through that manual. If anyone has a lot of free time and wants to find that, see if there's a way to disable the camera shutting off after a certain period of time. It's been shutting off at about an hour or 45 minutes to 50 minutes into the stream. Anyway, one of the key things in the solar system is water, and if we have water, we can survive on most of these locations here, or more comfortably survive in space without relying on the Earth. So if we can get access to that water and harvest it, that'll be a very useful mission to have accomplished. See you later. Yeah, the issue with Ripple, apparently, I haven't followed them for several years, maybe for a couple of years, is that it's so good that it's being used by some of the central banks to do some testing, but it's only being used, apparently. I haven't really followed up on this for a while, for a year or so. They were going to use it for the IMF and the other people were going to use it, and they were using a new chain of the XRP, and the public chain was not going to be used. But maybe in the future they'll make the two chains of XRP interact with each other. I believe David, I forgot his last name, but he was a while back, he was saying that they were going to eventually end up doing that, because the silos of finance don't really work so well. There is a lot of organizations, a lot of governments vying for the power to have their cryptocurrency dominate the world. So that's where you get like in Russia, I believe it's they're with the Ethereum and maybe China. I'm not sure who China is with, but China backs a lot of the different currencies, and so there's a lot of economic warfare going on with the ability to short things and then long things. So it's a lot of scheming going on there with the crypto. Thanks, Jill. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jackie, with the imagery harp. Maybe that's someone here on in the live stream that you're watching. Does the camera have a battery saver mode? Maybe. Hey, Mikey, I've never seen it before. That's a good question, though. I got you, Jackie. I don't see any activity over there at the top of Booster 4. There is a lift, maybe toward the bottom, but I haven't seen anything yet that tells me there's anything going on over there. I'm not at the main gate. I am to the left of the main gate over by the orbital tank farm. The main gate is over there, and that's usually where I live stream from, over there at the main gate. And you can see all these spaces here on the right. These are all empty spaces that are usually packed full of cars. There's spaces on the other side of this truck as well. Mark, I'm with you, Mark. I'm with you. Yeah, Lab Padre, it looks like they recently, with the rover cam over to the right there, they recently installed I don't watch your stream, but I have in the past. It's a good, they're a great company and everything, Lab Padre, but I don't even know if they're a company. They're at least a YouTube channel, but anyway, they just recently installed, in addition to the large camera on the top, they installed one below it, which has 3 views, 3 angles. So I don't know if they're now getting 4 shots from that one location, but they really upped their game recently when they installed that new triple camera thing on their rover cam. So they got, I believe that one rover has 4 camera angles on it. They're doing well over there. If anyone has any cameras they'd like to they're not using that you'd like to donate here to Ocean Cam, we could definitely use some more cameras. That's kind of what we were talking about already. All right, I muted Jackie. I don't know what she's talking about, but I just muted her. Justin says it's a 180-degree cam that can do virtual reality. That's awesome. I know Cosmic Perspective has similar stuff to that as well. Awesome, Starbase today. Hey, so it is a 360 cam. Good for them. Good for them. So they are implementing the 360 cam here, Starbase today. Yeah, I wonder where they got that idea, right? From you, sir. Hey, Justin. There were some sounds, some pumping coming over there from that red, maybe vacuum truck or whatever. I'm going to wind it down here. I'm going to go get something to eat, and I may stop by the build site and get some shots of the new building of the wide bay before heading to town. But I started the day early. I got up, I got out here around 9:30, and it's now 3:15. Yeah. All right. I get on the video here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Paul Mamaco's Ocean Camera Space Corp. Another day out here, and I will check out the remote camera before I head to the build site as well. So see you soon, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll check out the chat here for a little bit before cutting out. Yep. Cool, Captain. Right on. Justin, Mark, Marcy. I get a shot of the booster too. Paul, yeah, Mr. Debris, thanks. Nice for the chat as well. Get this shot before I leave. Mark. Captain. Signing out.